let's dive into something I think we've all felt at some point. It's this fascinating and honestly very real struggle, the self improvement paradox. I mean, really think about that for a second. We're all told to hustle, to optimize, to get better, right? But what if that constant pressure, what if the very thing you're doing to improve is secretly the thing that's holding you back? It's a pretty wild thought, isn't it? So, yeah, let's get into it. This is what we call the growth paradox. And it's all about how our best intentions, our drive to be better, can sometimes go, well, sideways in the most unexpected ways. At the heart of all this is something called the paradox of progress. It's this weird, unsettling thing that happens when you take what should be a positive step, like, say, starting a new workout routine or deciding to be more mindful, but it just ends up creating a whole new pile of anxieties. The problem isn't that you're failing. It's that trying so darn hard has this hidden cost. And you see this pop up everywhere, right? I mean, think about it. Who here has started some crazy intense productivity schedule only to burn out completely a few weeks later? Or maybe you've tried to overanalyze a relationship to fix it, and all that did was create this weird distance. And oh, the big one, obsessing over fixing every little flaw until you just feel more broken than when you started. Okay, so why does this even happen? How can trying to be better make things worse? Well, that brings us to the next part. We're going to unpack these psychological traps that are hiding in the shadow side of all this striving. Oh, this is a huge one. The comparison trap. You know exactly what I'm talking about. On one side, you've got social media, right? These perfectly curated growth stories, the highlight reels of success. And on the other side, there's you, living in the messy reality of your own journey, which, let's be honest, is never a straight line up. It's full of twists and turns. And when we try to measure our real life against that fake, perfect ideal, yeah, we're just setting ourselves up to feel bad. And that constant comparing, it leads to some really nasty psychological pitfalls. Perfectionism creeps in, and suddenly you're so scared of not doing something perfectly that you do nothing at all. You start needing likes and praise just to feel like you're growing. You focus so much on your flaws that your inner critic is just screaming at you 24/7. And it all boils down to this chronic feeling that who you are right now just isn't good enough. And what happens then? Well, you end up stuck on this exhausting, never-ending treadmill of self-help. You're always chasing the next book, the next productivity hack, the next life-changing routine, but you never, ever feel like you've actually gotten anywhere. So this treadmill, this constant striving, it connects directly to hustle culture. And that brings us to a really crucial idea: how a good thing, like discipline, can actually turn destructive. And it usually looks something like this, a cycle of self-punishment. See if this sounds familiar. Step 1, you set some super rigid, totally unforgiving goal. Step 2, you push yourself way past your limits to try and hit it. Step 3, and this is the inevitable part, you fall short of that impossible ideal. Then comes step 4, shame, guilt, feeling like a failure. And what do we do when we feel that way? Step 5, we double down on even harsher discipline, and the whole painful cycle just starts right back up again. You know, there's actually a name for this feeling. It's called growth fatigue. It's that bone-deep mental and emotional exhaustion that comes from being on all the time, always trying to improve, always optimizing. It's burnout, but here's the kicker. It doesn't come from a lack of effort. It comes from too much of it. But here's where it gets really dangerous. When you're so focused on chasing this idealized, perfect version of yourself that you saw on Instagram or read about in a book, you can totally lose touch with what you actually want. Your real, authentic desires get buried under a mountain of shoulds, and you end up feeling completely disconnected from who you really are. Okay, so that's a lot of doom and gloom, I know. We've talked a lot about the problem. So what do we do about it? How do we get off the treadmill? In this last section, let's talk about a different way forward, a more gentle, more sustainable, and way more authentic path. And really, it all comes down to this one idea. The foundation of real, sustainable growth isn't about pushing harder. It's not about relentless striving. It's about self-compassion and acceptance. So let's look at this new framework. We're basically swapping one mindset for another. On one side, you have the old way, relentless improvement, the constant feeling that you need to be fixed. But on the other side, we have the power of enoughness. And let me be clear, this isn't about being lazy or giving up. It's about finding that sweet spot, appreciating who you are right now while still leaving room for gentle, natural growth. So, what are the antidotes to this toxic growth? Well, they're pretty simple ideas, but they can be tough to put into practice. It means really, truly practicing self compassion, especially when you mess up. It means embracing acceptance for the person you are today, flaws and all. It's about finding that balance between striving for more and appreciating what you have. Basically, it's about shifting from this forceful, aggressive approach to one that's gentle and holistic. And that's really what I want to leave you with today. A question to just kind of sit with. In your own life, with your own goals, your own pressures, what would a more gentle approach to your growth actually look like? Really think about it, because the answer to that question might just be the biggest breakthrough you've been searching for.